So I'm in Walmart, barbecue sauce in my buggy, and I'm just minding my own business at the self-checkout. I got my dark glasses on, I have my mask on, I'm completely incognito. I am faceless, a nobody. No one should be talking to me. Someone talk to me. With me just trying to figure out how to do the swipey swipe on the self-checkout, this old raspy old man voice erupts behind me, and he says, "Well, I can tell you're from the north. Look how pale you are." Now I just need a mask for my whole body to hide myself. No, kind old man who thinks I want his opinion. I lived in Florida my whole life. I'm just white, eternally white. Some may say an ivory white. No, I call it a maggot white. Also, when I was working at the gym, another old man came up to me. He says,
"Why do you walk funny?"
Anyways, the moral of this intro is, I guess, men stink. But books don't. What is up, you guys? It's me, your girl, your Casey. When's the most perfect time to post a to be read video than in the middle of the month you're currently reading for? That's what I got here for you guys today. So about 3 weeks ago, during another emotional crisis, I have resolved with myself, in order to balance all the things I want to accomplish in my life, that I might actually have to cut down on reading. So I decided to take it down from like 7 books a month to 5 books a month. That's more than the average American reads in a year, so I'm down with that. But also the perfectionist part of my brain, the one that wants to read like 10 books a month and is currently arguing with the rational part of my brain that wants the 5 books a month, it gives the middle finger to the rational part of my brain, like, "No, I'm gonna read everything." And the rational part of my brain is like, "Baby, no. Remember, college, work, sleep, you'll need those." So both hemispheres of my brain are currently at war. It's a weird experience, but I'm forcing myself to stick with a 5 books per month limit. So let's talk about what I've allocated these 5 book slots to. First up, we have The Need. But this book is basically a combination of one of my favorite reads this year. It's called The Echo Wife, and it blends all of that book with Recursion. No, Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I get those two mixed up all the time. So, as you can see, this is a very short book, so I'm gonna give you a super basic summary real quick. Our girl Molly, she's a scientist. She's one of those scientists that digs for fossils and unearths these plant fossils and, studies them, puts them on display, tries to see if this matches current modern day flowers and plants or if it's an extinct species. That's her job. And her little fossil team have discovered this place called the Pit. It's a big hole, and it's just brimming with all sorts of fossils and some other weird things. The deeper you get into the pit, the more you find just like seemingly regular everyday items, which is strange. And it's not just that there's action figures and even a Bible buried deep, deep, deep under the ground. No, there's like weird Mandela effect things happening. That action figure of an astronaut, it has a monkey tail. That Bible, the pronoun for God is not he, it's she. Coins have different president faces on them. Just a whole bunch of butterfly effect stuff happening. Why is it in this pit? But more importantly, are the people who leave the pit the same person as they went in being? Our girl Molly, she's just driven to find out what is happening with the pit. But more than that, she is a very new mother. She's got like a precocious little 4-year-old, a newborn baby, and they are her life. A lot of this book is dedicated just to like motherhood, the everyday little actions that actually feel like big Herculean tasks in the middle of it. Balancing your scientist job, your house cleaning, taking care of these 2 crotch goblins. It's exhausting. I felt tired just reading this. But all these motherly moments are very cute in the book. Very exhausting, as I mentioned, so it's no wonder that our scientist girl Molly starts to see some interesting things. Delusional? For realsies? Read the book and find out. Next up, we have highly anticipated read, Riley Sager, just my favorite thriller author, no biggie. And this is the book that perfectly explains why I don't hitchhike. Not at all. Uber? Not even that, no. So this book is set in the 90s, the glory of overalls, big hair, Barney the dinosaur. Love them. Something called a tape deck is mentioned in this too. But our main character is Charlie. Charlie loves movies. Charlie, not that fond of real life, especially since her best friend, bestie, was just gruesomely murdered by the campus serial killer. Oh snap. The night before her best friend died, Charlie and the other girl, they got into a huge argument. They parted awfully, and next day, oh, your friend's dead. Don't you feel like a jerk? So Charlie, she's dropping out of college. She's done. People are harassing her like, oh, wait, you saw the guy who might have killed her. Why don't you remember? But, you know, trauma. Charlie has just like completely blocked it out of her brain. And so she's getting out of college. She's sadly breaking up with her boyfriend. Very nice guy, he understands. Although he's like, please stay with me, please, sugar plum. She's like, no, I cannot, for I have irrepressible trauma. Or maybe it is repressible because she's repressing the memories. She has some type of extreme trauma. What she doesn't have is a ride to get back home. So she puts up a little notice on the ride share board, whatever that is, at her college, and soon enough she gets like a taker. Like, hey girl, you split the gas with me? I'll take you to Ohio, wherever you need to go. I think it's Ohio. It's probably not Ohio. Charlie's enthused. She didn't really think anyone would take her up on an offer. So she agrees to get in this perfect stranger's car and drive off. And pretty soon she's kind of certain that this guy is the guy that killed her best friend. Drama ensues. Riley Sager is an author that I love so much. And next up we have an author I've been wanting to read more of. It's Grady Hendrix. And it's my best friend's Exorcism, one of my favorite book covers ever. I mean, look at this. It has all the corniness of an 80s movie. Even the back of it is like, wow. Like, you could, instead of reading this book, you can just stare at the cover for days. No judgment. So we've got these two best friends, Abby and Gretchen. They've known each other since elementary school, bonded over movies like E.T. Now they're all the way up in high school, you know, doing the notorious teenage shenanigans like skinny dipping and doing the devil's mineral. What's the street name for meth? Is it just meth? Was it even meth? I'm not caught up on my drugs. Except the drug of reading a good book. that was so corny. But you know, after one night of some dubious party going, Abby, Gretchen, they're two friends, they're partying it up, and Gretchen's like, yo, let's go skinny dip. You know, whipping off the clothes, running butt naked off into the woods. She goes missing, but we find her. But is it her? She's a little bit different now. Some ghostly things seem to be happening now, especially surrounding Gretchen. Her entire appearance is just getting more weary and stuff like that. She's throwing up feathers. She's being abrasive to her friends, her family. She's either cutting people out of her life or people are dropping her from their lives because she's just too much drama to put up with. You know, we got high school, we got proms and cheerleading tryouts to worry about. And it's only Abby, her stalwart best friend, who's stuck with her. And even she's like, oh my gosh, this kid's loco. But then she starts to find some evidence that it's not really Gretchen making Gretchen do all these things. And it's up to Abby, the only one who can do anything about it, to save her best friend's life. To be honest, I've already read this book and every single person in this book annoyed the heck out of me, but I'm not gonna get rid of this. I love the cover. Next up, we have a book that you guys voted on about 2 months ago to add on to my TBR. It was one of those crappy first page summaries of books that I usually post on my polls in the community tab. This is my next read. I'm on page 1. Gonna pick this one up in the morning. I wake up at 2 a.m. You can tell. Now, in the land of South America, okay? You with me so far? There's this finishing school, you know, petticoats. You have to hold your little teacups and your cucumber sandwiches with your pinky up. Stuff like that. You know, it's a fine establishment, except for the fact that it's cursed. But people like our main character, Mavi, they're willing to put up with, oh, you know, the possible eternal damnation to be given this opportunity to go to this finishing school, which will open up more opportunities for bigger and better things if they survive. Mavi is ready to become the new Argentinian elite. And you know, it's a strange finishing school. It's a little wonky. But you know, she's got her chin up, her eyes open, looking at all this weirdness going on. But when students and teachers alike begin to behave as if possessed, forces haunting this unholy cliff will no longer be ignored. and one of these spirits holds a secret that could unravel Mavi's existence. Wow, that ghost is about to spill the tea. Also, this cover is gloriously blue. Yes, that's why I bought it. Okay, next up, I have a Kindle book. It's my last book for my TBR, and it's part of a special new series I'm going to be working on. So I'm not going to reveal what prompt subject it's going to be for, but the book's called Followed by Frost, and I honestly did not even read the summary of this book before buying it because it's part of what I'm going to do for the video about it. So this is my first time looking at this book. So here it is. 17-year-old Smitha. Smitha? My last name is Smith. You just slapped an A on the Smith? Smitha, name meaning. It means smiling, blossomed. I kind of like that. It's Hindu. Nice. Mine's American. Smith. 17-year-old Smitha has the wealth, the status, the beauty that makes her the envy of her whole town. Just look at me go, guys. Look at me go. Until she rejects a strange man's marriage proposal. Honey. And disastrous consequences follow. Smitha becomes cursed, and frost begins to encompass everything she touches. Ooh, an ice queen, an ice princess. Who's gonna thaw out that heart? Banished to the hills, hunted by villagers, and chilled to the very core of her soul. Oh, this is juicy. I like this. She finds companionship with Death, who longs to coax her into his isolated world. I ship it. I feel it. But Smither's desire for life proves stronger than despair, and a newfound purpose gives her renewed hope. Will regrets over the past and an unexpected desire for a man she cannot touch be enough to warm Smitha's heart, or will death forever still it? Ooh, I'm hyped now. I don't want to read this one anymore. I want to read, the death shipping. That sounded very dark. But did y'all read the Cain Chronicles? You know, Anubis? He's a death god. It's sexy. Ooh, yep, I made my mind up. I'm gonna read that one tomorrow. Sorry, tip girl. You sound cool too, but I got a thing for like dark, depressed good. But anyways, y'all, thank you so much for listening to me ramble. And now, look, I am Smitha. I'm smiling. I'm excited to read. So I'm out of here. I'm gonna go read. You're gonna go read. Stay reading, my friends.